Who feels a sense of refreshment right now? I just feel like I'm breathing in the fresh air and just really feeling encouraged because I had an amazing weekend. I feel like I'm rejuvenated, and there's some really neat things that I want to share with you today. I hope you all were able to celebrate a beautiful Easter Sunday. I really, really enjoyed spending time with my family, and I'm sure many of you did too. And it's just a great time to be able to reflect upon the year, what is past, what is to come, and ultimately to celebrate the life of Jesus Christ. And He is risen. What a powerful statement. I love the idea of Him coming out of that area that he was in the tomb and showing everyone that he was alive. How powerful to show that no matter what we have gone through, even death, that there is still light, that there is still God, that there is still hope. And sometimes we get in these circumstances where we're trying to figure out what the next steps are. Where do we go from here? What do we do? And I think that this is a perfect topic in relation to Easter and the coming and the knowing of Jesus Christ, in that we have to have hope sometimes. We have to have encouragement that we are going to be able to have a future at all. And sometimes we just don't know where to go from where we're at. And we don't have any kind of idea what next step to take in the current circumstance or situation that we're dealing with. And it's so important for us to be able to realize that we do have options, we do have opportunities in front of us, and there is a way out. No matter how dark our situation seems, there's always a light that we can look towards. So I want to talk about what could be your next step right now. And some of us may be in a season right now where we are thriving and we are loving every moment of what we are going through. And we are just relishing in the happiness and the memories that we're making. And then there also might be some of us that are dealing with some dark moments and some challenging times. And in 2018, this year already, I've had a lot of ups and downs. And I can hardly believe, I was talking to my husband this morning, that it's 2018 and we're already in April. I mean, this year is just absolutely flying by. It's flying by in a way that it's almost making us feel like the time is just passing so quickly that we're not even able to reflect upon it. And I think that that's so important for us to do every single day, is to be reflecting, to be thankful, to be grateful for what we're going through, despite what our circumstances might be. There's always something to be thankful for. So in looking towards the future and trying to understand our next steps, it's important to be open-minded and to realize that whatever it is that we are going through, there is a greater purpose and a greater good that will occur because of it. And to the individual that might be thriving and excited about the opportunity that they have right in front of them, good for you. And I'm really excited for you. And I want to encourage you today to keep on with that happy tune and to keep taking those steps forward and just really take advantage of this time that you are flourishing. Because it's important to be able to remember that seasons come and go, they change, and we have our ups and downs, and it won't always be like this. So make the most of every single moment that you have when you are thriving. And when you are down on your luck, remember that God is always watching and that He's always listening. And it's important for us to be listening too. And that's one of the main points that I want to talk about also today, is to listen with grace, to be really open to hearing what God has to say to you. Listen to what the next steps are for your life, because it just might be something that's right in front of your face that you haven't been paying attention to. God has a great way of showing us in a variety of facets what it is that He wants us to do in order to take the next steps. And sometimes, we're sitting there thinking to ourselves, how could I possibly move on from here? I mean, I don't know how to get to the next destination point. I don't know how to set the next goal. Well, I've certainly been there myself, and I can relate to it. And I understand that sometimes you can just feel almost like in a catatonic state. Like, I don't know how I can get from point A to point B. I know what I want to do, but God, how can I get there? And I think that God really has a great way of his timing. He always has the perfect timing for us. So we just have to be able to be open to what that timing is. So just remember that and listen with patience. And that sometimes taking those next steps takes a little bit of extra time than we first expected. We wanted to be taking those next steps immediately. As soon as we decided what we were going to be doing, we wanted to take next steps. Well, let me just say this, and this is something that I've said many, many times, that even if you've taken just one step per day, you are still making progress. You are still moving towards something. So don't forget that any progress is some progress. Very important to keep in mind. Another thing is that it's important to think before you act. I think it's very easy for us to impulsively make decisions and to just want to go for something right away without doing our research, without understanding what it takes to pursue an endeavor. And I, for one, I'm guilty of this. I've done this where I said to myself, I'm going to just go out and achieve that no matter what. I'm going to go out and I'm going to make this happen, and I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. And the reality of it is that you have to be able to be really in a full understanding of what you're in for. Whatever the next steps are that you're going to take in order to achieve something, you have to be aware of what it's going to take from you in order to achieve that. And for some things, it may look like it's a lot easier than you think it is. It may look like that it's attainable within a week or a couple of days. And for some people, it might take a year or two. And everybody, for the most part, has a different timeline in terms of how long it takes them to achieve something. So there's no right or wrong answer here, but it's just really important to be reflectant of thinking and taking the time to really think through a situation before you act upon it. So just remember that. And, going forward, when you're trying to make that really difficult decision to take that next step, have you covered all of your bases? Have you looked through as much that you can in order to make that decision to know which step to take? Okay. So just something to really think about as you're moving forward here. Another thing is to pray more and worry less. Praying is the end-all be-all in helping you to make decisions. God gives us the wisdom that we need in every single endeavor, in every single business entity, in every single major household decision that you make and relationships. God is there, and he gives us the truth that we need in order to feel good and confident about taking that next step. And I think that we can get so consumed in certain things that we just completely forget prayer altogether. We can get consumed by the busyness and the organizational structure of everything and trying to complete things in a certain timeline. And when sometimes the most important thing is for us to just relax and sit back and listen to what God is trying to tell us. So we need to be consciously aware of what is coming in front of us and what is God actually saying. And what is God trying to let us see? And maybe we're not seeing because our eyes aren't open to what he is trying to share with us. So it's important. Every single step that you take is a step in a specific direction. Whatever road you decide to take is ultimately going to lead to your destiny. So you are choosing your destiny every single day. So think about it. as you continue to formulate your habits and you're growing as a person and you're moving in a direction that's ultimately making up your life and who you are. It's determining who you are as a person. It's creating your makeup. It's creating your final destination point. And you're moving more and more towards that every single day. You are moving towards something. Even if you are not moving at all, you are still moving towards something, in that you are not making any kind of decision for your life. You are just staying stagnant. So that in itself is a decision to move in a direction to not progress forward. So a lot of food for thought here today, a lot of important things to really think about as you are just consistently taking those steps every single day. You know, I have a watch that I wear. It's a Fitbit, and it tells me how many steps I complete every single day. And it's always different. Sometimes I'm really close to the 10,000 mark, which is the goal. You're supposed to try to get 10,000, but most of the time I'm close to like 4,000 or 5,000. I feel like that's a pretty good day. And usually I am sometimes around the 6,000 mark. But that's good because that shows me that I'm consistent and I am remaining in a focused way where I'm still making progress and identifying what kind of day I'm having. You know, I'm not falling way behind where I'm only doing 1,000 steps, but I'm not quite to the 10,000 mark. So I'm somewhere in the middle. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because that shows consistency, that I am somewhere in the middle. So I have had a great time sharing steps with you today, and I hope that you enjoyed thinking about this visual of you taking steps forward, and I hope that it's really impacted you in a way that you are going to be consciously aware of what kind of steps you're taking and taking them in the right direction. So have a great day, everybody, and remember to continue to step forward.